Thank you for joining us today. My name is Eric Wester, and I'm the Associate Director of Education Services at UMacha. You might be asking yourself, so do I want to become an APRP? Or the other common scenario is that someone else, perhaps your boss, said to you, hey, I think it's the time for you to become an APRP. Whether this is an endeavor you decided to take on your own, or your boss voluntold you that now is the time, we will explore all that UMacha has to offer to help you obtain your accredited payments risk professional designation, as well as provide general information about the APRP. With that, let's jump into it. What is an APRP? In the payment space, we love to use abbreviations any chance we get. Whether we're talking about ACH, the FRB, TCH, or FFIEC, we tend to use acronyms for everything. In fact, learning what all this lingo means is a component of becoming an APRP or an accredited payments risk professional. You may be wondering who the ideal APRP candidate is. What is their background and their work experience? And is this only for people who work in financial institutions? How much do I need to know before I attempt this? If you've heard of the AAP or the accredited ACH professional, you may be familiar with the skill set required for that ideal candidate. It's generally someone who is or wants to be an expert in all things ACH. The APRP, while still an exam administered by NACHA, is quite different in scope of what's reviewed and tested on the exam. APRP does not focus on any one individual payment rail, like ACH, wire transfer, or cards, but instead it takes a more holistic review of the risks associated with the various payment methods, controls that can be implemented, and what regulators have to say about risk management practices as prescribed in the numerous FFIEC handbooks. The APRP is ideal for any payments professional, especially those involved in payments risk or enterprise risk management at their organization. NACHA also recommends that individuals involved in strategy, product development, or treasury sales consider studying for the APRP as well. While NACHA does not have any firm prerequisites before sitting for the APRP, individuals with previous experience working in risk management or those who are familiar with FFIEC guidance will be best prepared for success. If you're new to your role, don't let this discourage you. Prior experience is not necessary, and the knowledge gained can help set you on a solid footing as you learn the new ropes of a new position. Now that we've established what an APRP is, let's dive into what you can expect to learn. While preparing to become an APRP, you will focus your time on a wide spectrum of risk-related topics, including those shown on the screen. The main blueprint categories include fundamentals of payments risk management, payments risk management controls, payment systems, physical and information security, regulatory environment, payments risk policy, and governance. More specifically, you can expect to learn the fundamentals of each major payment rail, including who the primary participants are and the role they play. You will also learn more about the types of risk, both primary risk, which includes risks such as compliance risk, credit risk, fraud risk, operational risk, and systemic risk, as well as ancillary risks. You will learn unique characteristics of these types of risk and how they apply in a given payment system. And perhaps more importantly, you'll learn about controls that exist to help mitigate risk within your organization. No organization can completely eliminate risk, so it's important to understand the concepts of risk appetite and risk tolerance, as well as an understanding of who within an organization is responsible for setting these thresholds. The world has experienced a pandemic, and we know the threat of future pandemics is very real. Additionally, cyber threats continue to pose an ongoing and perhaps even increasing risk to organizations. As such, the APRP candidate will spend time studying and learning more about business continuity and what regulators expect financial institutions to have in place to support business operations at all times. Finally, a big part of studying for the APRP exam is becoming very familiar with the FFIEC handbooks. In fact, you will likely get sick of hearing the trainers say the word FFIEC, but it will be a critical part of your studies. Now let's discuss what is involved in obtaining your APRP. More than 800 individuals spanning organizations such as banks, credit unions, third-party service providers, ACH operators, financial institution regulators, and other types of payment and risk professionals have successfully passed the APRP exam and become accredited payments risk professionals. The best way to set yourself up for success is to enroll in an APRP exam prep series, which we will discuss more in just a moment. Candidates should be aware that they will likely need to spend additional time outside the exam prep series to study the concepts being reviewed on their own time. The APRP exam is administered at Pearson VUE testing facilities located throughout the country each year, generally in the August and September timeframe. Many of us have not taken a proctored exam since high school or college, and you may have questions about the process. As I just mentioned, the exam will take place at a Pearson VUE testing facility. Pearson VUE administers several exams throughout the country every day, and they have the exam process down to a science. You can expect to have a silent testing experience, allowing you to focus on the questions at hand. You are also provided with materials to make notes if you need to. Once you finally sit down to begin the exam, you can expect to have 3.5 hours to answer 135 multiple choice questions, with 35 of the questions being pilot questions. Note that the number of questions, including pilot questions, is subject to change from year to year. You will have 1.5 minutes per question, so if questions are removed, you would have 1.5 fewer minutes for each question that was removed. Pilot questions are questions that Nacha is testing to see how well they perform, but they will not actually be calculated in determining whether you pass or fail the exam. You will not have any way of knowing which questions are pilot questions and which are not when you're taking the exam. Most, if not all, your exam questions will have 3 possible answers to choose from. If you're not sure what the correct answer is, you can flag it and return later. At the end of the exam, if you have unanswered questions, use your judgment to select the answer you think is best, but don't leave any questions unanswered. Once you've completed the exam, you will be shown whether you passed or failed the exam before you leave the testing facility. If you passed, you may immediately begin using the APRP credential. You've earned it. NACHA will follow up about 6 weeks after the conclusion of the exam window in writing and provide a formal copy of your accreditation and results. Don't worry, there's plenty of opportunity throughout the exam prep series to ask any questions you may have about the exam process. As your key partner in helping you understand electronic payments, Humacha is pleased to offer a thorough APRP exam prep series. The first part of the exam prep series includes an orientation and welcome session to get you primed and ready for what to expect in the remainder of the exam prep series. During the session, we will give additional information about the APRP and what to expect on this year's exam. Throughout the exam prep series, UMACHA partners with several other payment associations from the Center for Payments, giving you exposure to several expert trainers. Some of the 11 webinars that are included in part 2 of the exam prep series will be hosted by our partner payment associations. So don't be alarmed if you hear a new voice or see a face that you don't recognize. Each of these webinars will be 90 minutes in length. Finally, for part 3 of the exam prep series, we will all get together virtually for a 2-day workshop. During the workshop, UMACHA staff will highlight several of the important concepts reviewed over the course of the exam prep series, allow for open question and answer, and conduct multiple activities to help reinforce the concepts that have been reviewed. The workshop is the final part of the exam prep series before you take the APRP exam. You can learn more about the exam prep series, including pricing and specific dates, by visiting our website at umacha.org, then hover over Education, then hover over Programs, and click Accreditation Programs. The APRP Backpack is a great benefit for those enrolled in the full APRP exam prep series. The APRP Backpack is a secure web page that only those registered in the series have access to, and it's the central repository for all copies of presentations, recording links, access to an APRP practice exam, as well as other resources like information about important dates and deadlines and contact information for UMacha staff. The APRP Backpack is a great way to help you stay organized. If you're looking for resources to help supplement the APRP exam prep series, UMacha offers a variety of paid resources in our online store to help as you study. One of our most popular resources is the APRP Resource Kit, which includes UMacha's ACH Risk Assessment Guide, NACHA's ACH Risk Management Handbook, and NACHA's ACH Compliance Manual. While not necessary to purchase, these resources may help supplement your other study efforts. We also offer other popular APRP exam prep study resources. The APRP flashcards are electronic flashcards that are a great study aid to help validate your understanding of the concepts that are being reviewed. The flashcards include concepts likely to be included on the APRP exam. The flashcards expire 6 months from the registration date after purchase and processing are complete. RiskPro is a self-paced, computer-based training program developed to increase your knowledge of all things risk. RiskPro challenges your knowledge in 2 ways: game mode and test mode. RiskPro Game Mode is a fun, interactive program which tests your skills in 6 competency areas, while Test Mode offers a timed multiple-choice test that will provide your performance in specific categories. To find and review all the exam preparation resources available in the online store, browse to our website at umacha.org. Make sure you sign into your account so that you receive the discounted member pricing, then hover over Store and click Publications and Recordings. From there, click Exam Preparation to view all of our offerings. Remember, another resource that is available to you and all of our members is access to our team of payments nerds here at UMacha. Our team includes 11 APRPs, 12 AAPs, and 8 NCPs. While not everyone works in education, everyone is committed to taking the best care of our members and providing support in any way that we can. Our entire team here at UMacha is rooting for your success, and we're all happy to assist you throughout this journey. So now that we've discussed what's involved in preparing for and taking the APRP exam, let's discuss what happens after you become accredited. I think it's fair to say that after passing the APRP exam, most people don't want to sit for an attempt to pass the exam a second time. While the APRP designation is valid for 5 years after passing, you may extend or renew for an additional 5-year period by earning and reporting 60 continuing education credits during that 5-year period. Keep in mind that no more than 20 credits may be reported each year, so you cannot wait until the 5th year and attempt to submit all 60 credits. UMacha offers ample opportunities throughout the year to obtain continuing education credits, including our annual Navigating Payments Conference, Payments University, and several all-day workshops and symposiums, as well as live webinars throughout the year and a wide variety of on-demand webinar recordings available in our online store. If you are ready to commit to making this the year you become accredited, or even if you just want to learn more about the APRP, visit our accreditation program's webpage where you can review additional details or register for our exam prep series. Remember, the exam prep series begins in April and the exam window opens in August, although these dates are subject to change from year to year. To find the exact dates for this year's APRP exam, visit umacha.org, hover over Education, then hover over Programs, and click Accreditation Programs. If you have any questions about the APRP exam prep series or getting registered, please don't hesitate to reach out to our team at UMacha. You can reach us by email at info@umacha.org or give us a call at 763-549-7000. Consider making this the year you become an accredited payments risk professional.